The forbidden law that turned losers into billionaires. 97 will never know the mental prison keeping 97% of Americans broke forever. Did you know there's an invisible prison keeping 97% of people trapped forever? A prison with no bars, no walls, but stronger than any physical cage. It's the prison of fixed identity, that voice in your head whispering, "You've always been this way. People don't change. This is just who you are." Here's what blew my mind. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was a failed football player before becoming the world's highest paid actor. Lady Gaga was a rejected pop wannabe before becoming a cultural icon. Jeff Bezos was selling books online when everyone thought he was crazy. What did these titans discover that you haven't? Power law number 25. Recreate yourself. American society is an identity factory. From childhood, we're labeled the shy kid, the rebel, the good student, and like sheep, we accept these labels as permanent sentences. But here's the dark secret that power masters know. Your identity isn't your truth, it's your first lie. Think about Robert Downey, Jr. He wasn't always Iron Man. He recreated himself from a drug-addicted has-been to Hollywood's comeback king. Each reinvention was a voluntary death of who he was, to be reborn as who he needed to become. Power doesn't belong to the consistent. It belongs to the shapeshifters. Neuroscience confirms it. Your brain has plasticity until your final breath. You can literally rewire your personality, fears, and desires. But most people prefer the comfortable prison of, "I've always been this way," over the liberating discomfort of transformation. Here's the brutal truth. While you cling to your current identity, your competitors are reinventing themselves. They're studying, evolving, becoming versions 2.0, 3.0, 10.0 of themselves. And you, still stuck on version 1.0, afraid to update your software. Reinvention isn't about denying your past. It's about governing it. It's transforming your scars into superpowers, your weaknesses into strategies, your failures into foundations. The architect of his own identity doesn't run from what he was. He builds upon what he was. Here's a disturbing example. Imagine two professionals with identical same age, same experience. One clings to what he's always done. The other reinvents himself with each project, absorbs new skills like a sponge, adapts his communication to every environment. In 5 years, one will be obsolete. The other will be indispensable. The difference isn't talent, it's metamorphosis. Steve Jobs got fired from his own company, then used that failure to reinvent himself as the visionary who created the iPhone. That's not resilience, that's architectural thinking. He didn't let his past define his future. He used his past to design his future. The psychology behind this is fascinating. We're hardwired to seek consistency because it feels safe. But safety is the enemy of greatness. While you're playing it safe, someone hungrier is playing it dangerous and winning. Your dangerous but necessary mission for the next 3 days: destroy one pattern that defines you. Change your body language in meetings. Dress completely differently. Take a new route to work. Break the algorithm you've become. Feel the intoxicating power of being unpredictable to yourself. This isn't about becoming fake. It's about discovering which version of yourself has the most power. Most people are living as their default setting when they could be living as their premium upgrade. If you want to discover how power masters weaponize identity for total dominance, drop a comment. Share this video with someone who needs to shatter their own chains. Embrace yourself for the next revelation that will explode your mind about the theater of power. The dark theater: how billionaires hijack your mind in 7 seconds. Why can Leonardo DiCaprio make you believe he's anyone, a ship passenger, a stock trader, a frontiersman, in just 2 hours? Why do certain people walk into a room and completely shift the energy? Why can some leaders mobilize millions with a single speech? The answer lies in mastering the grand theater of life. The shocking truth is, life is performance, and those who can't act are doomed to be the audience. Meryl Streep isn't just an actress, she's a reinvention master who's perfected the art of becoming whoever the script of life demands. Each character she embodies reveals a different facet of transformation power. Here's the secret that separates the dominators from the dominated. They understand that life is a stage, and whoever controls the narrative controls the game. Steve Jobs didn't just sell products, he sold a performance of technological revolution. Every Apple launch was a carefully orchestrated spectacle. Most people live on autopilot, reacting to stimuli like programmed robots. But power masters? They're screenwriters, directors, and protagonists of their own existence. They don't live life, they direct it. Consider Oprah Winfrey. She mastered the art of being vulnerable when she needs to connect, authoritative when she needs to lead, intimate when she needs to seduce. Each situation demands a different version of her. This isn't fakeness. It's emotional intelligence applied to power. Behavioral psychology reveals we judge people within the first 7 seconds of interaction. Your posture, tone, energy, everything programs others' minds about who you are. Amateurs leave this programming to chance. Masters control it to the millimeter. Here's the dark technique few know. Every social interaction is a power negotiation disguised as casual conversation. Who sets the conversation tone? Who asks the questions? Who controls the pace? The master of social theater always knows which role he's playing and why. Mark Zuckerberg is a genius of performance strategy. For years, he played the awkward tech nerd publicly while privately being a ruthless empire builder who destroyed competitors without blinking. The public performance hid the private strategist. Donald Trump built a political empire by mastering the performance of authentic outsider while being the ultimate Washington insider. Love him or hate him, you can't deny his mastery of narrative control. He didn't just run for president, he directed a 4-year reality show called The Trump Administration. The disturbing truth: you're already playing a role, but you didn't choose it. Society, your family, your fears chose it for you. You're playing the obedient employee, the responsible child, the nice person. But what if you decided which role to play? Think about it. Elon Musk plays the eccentric genius role so perfectly that people forgive his mistakes because they fit the character. Meanwhile, his performance generates billions in free publicity. That's not authenticity, that's strategic authenticity. Your radical transformation starts now. Choose a social situation in the coming days. Consciously decide which character you'll play. Be more assertive in a meeting. Be more mysterious at a party. Be more charismatic in conversation. Feel the intoxicating power of controlling your own narrative. The neuroscience is clear. Humans are pattern recognition machines. When you break their expectations of who you are, you capture their attention completely. Attention is the currency of the modern world. And you just learned how to print your own money. If you want to master the social manipulation secrets that the powerful use, comment theater. Share this forbidden knowledge with those brave enough to take control of their own performance, and prepare to discover the most dangerous power of all, the art of invisibility. The CIA technique that turns nobodies into lethal predators. What's the difference between a lion and a snake? The lion roars, shows off, wants everyone to know he's the king. The snake? Silent, observant, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Guess who kills more? The modern obsession with visibility is a death trap. Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, everyone's screaming, let me. But the real predators of power? They've mastered the most lethal art of all, being fatally underestimated. Warren Buffett didn't just invest, he studied every competitor in silence while they gave flashy interviews. Bill Gates spent years being called lucky while he was systematically destroying entire industries. They were winning before anyone realized they were playing. Here's the brutal truth about power. The more you talk, the less power you have. The more you show off, the more vulnerable you become. True dominators are ghosts, present but imperceptible. They collect information while others collect likes. Think about early Mark Cuban. While other entrepreneurs appeared on magazine covers, he was silently building Broadcast.com into a billion-dollar exit. When everyone noticed his power, it was already too late to compete. Military intelligence teaches, the enemy you don't see is the one who kills you. This law applies perfectly to corporate, social, and personal worlds. While your competitors make noise, you collect data. While they fight for attention, You build invisible alliances. The dark technique of social camouflage. In any group, there's always one person everyone underestimates. Usually, it's who speaks least, observes most, asks intelligent questions instead of giving obvious answers. That person is who actually controls the group dynamics. Jeff Bezos built a media empire by being the quietest man in Silicon Valley. While politicians gave speeches, he made calls. While entrepreneurs sought fame, he controlled who would become famous. Real power is exercised away from spotlights. Here's the disturbing paradox. The harder you try to prove you have power, the more you prove you don't. True power is assumed, not announced. It's demonstrated through results, not declarations. Consider the Federal Reserve. Most Americans can't name the current chairman, yet this person controls interest rates that affect every mortgage, every loan, every investment in the country. Maximum power, minimum visibility. Neuroscience confirms our attention is limited. While we focus on the noisy, we ignore the essential. Camouflage masters exploit this cognitive flaw to operate without interference. The CIA's most successful agents aren't the James Bond types, they're the ones who can sit in a coffee shop for hours and be completely forgettable. Invisibility is a superpower in a world addicted to being seen. Your transformation into an invisible predator. For 1 week, practice being the silent observer. In meetings, make fewer statements and more investigative questions. In social conversations, let others talk while you map personalities and motivations. You'll discover that those who speak least learn most. Tim Cook has been Apple's CEO for over a decade, yet most people couldn't pick him out of a lineup. Meanwhile, he's generated more wealth than most small countries' GDP. That's not accidental, that's strategic invisibility. If you want to master military-grade invisibility techniques, write Ghost in the comments. Share this video with those brave enough to trade visibility for real power. And prepare for the final revelation that will transform you into the ultimate architect of your existence. The banned ritual that creates unstoppable tycoons. Use at your own risk. Want to know the difference between an ordinary person and an architect of destiny? The ordinary person reacts to life. The architect designed it. While some are victims of circumstances, others are the creators of them. If you've made it this far, your mind is no longer the same. You've discovered that identity is fluid. Life is performance. Power lies in invisibility. Now comes the most dangerous moment. Forging all these weapons into a single, devastating force. Michael Jordan wasn't just the greatest basketball player. He was the architect of a global brand that transcended sports. He reinvented himself from Chicago athlete to worldwide icon, mastered the narrative of his own legend, and did it while maintaining a personal mystery that generated even more fascination. He didn't just play basketball, he architected a legendary existence. The lethal equation of absolute power: reinvention plus performance plus camouflage equals total control. You become unpredictable enough to be fascinating, visible enough to be influential, and invisible enough to be untouchable. Oprah Winfrey exemplifies this perfectly. She reinvented herself from abused child to media mogul. Her public performance is empathetic friend to all, but her private strategy is that of a ruthless empire builder who decides which books become bestsellers. She controls billions while appearing to simply share stories. Perfect camouflage. Here's the truth that will change your life forever. Most people are playing the wrong game. They compete for attention when they should compete for influence. They compete for validation when they should compete for control. You now know how to play the right game. Neuroplasticity proves you can rewrite your mental programming at any age. But the opportunity window doesn't wait. Every day you postpone your transformation is a day your competitors gain advantage. Your ultimate secret weapon, the architect's ritual. Every morning, 5 minutes that separate you from mediocrity forever. First minute, visualize who you need to be today. Second minute, define what performance you'll deliver. Third minute, identify what information you need to collect. Fourth minute, map your invisible strategy. Fifth minute, commit to cold, calculated execution. This isn't sugary self-help. It's military training for the mind. It's your daily preparation to dominate a world that devours the unprepared, Elon Musk woke up one day and decided he'd be the man to take humanity to Mars. Insane decision? Maybe. But he architected every step, reinvented himself from programmer to space visionary, mastered the performance of eccentric genius, and built an empire while everyone doubted. He didn't wait for permission. He took control. The most successful hedge fund managers don't appear on CNBC. The most powerful lobbyists don't give interviews. The most influential tech leaders avoid conferences. They understand that true power operates in shadows. Your moment has arrived. You have the tools. You know the secrets. You understand that life is a game, and games have rules. The only question remaining is, will you continue being a piece on others' chessboards, or will you become the master of your own game? Amazon's success wasn't just about selling books online. It was about Bezos architecting a systematic takeover of retail, cloud computing, and media while everyone thought he was just an online bookstore owner. By the time competitors understood the scope, the game was already over. If this video transformed you into an architect of your own existence, drop a comment. If you're ready to dominate your reality, write architect. Share this lethal knowledge with those who deserve to escape mediocrity. Subscribe, because you just entered a war. The war between those who control and those who are controlled. And you already know which side you're on.